Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we continue, I want you to listen to this as if I'm speaking directly to you, because in many ways, I am. The moment a woman opens up and shares one specific thing with you, something she does not reveal easily, something many men completely overlook, she has already crossed an emotional boundary that she rarely allows people to cross. And if you fail to recognize that moment, you could lose one of the deepest connections you ever had without even realizing what happened. So if you want to understand women on a deeper psychological level, in a way most people never take the time to explore, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and stay until the end, because what we are discussing today can completely change the way you understand attraction, trust, and emotional connection. I'm speaking to you not only as a woman, but also as a psychologist who has spent years hearing the private thoughts, hidden fears, and personal experiences that many women never even share with their closest friends. Many men believe love is created through big gestures, constant attention, physical attraction, or always saying the perfect thing. But the truth is, a woman does not usually fall deeply in love when everyone is watching. She falls in love in quiet moments. She falls in love through emotional security, through feeling understood, through knowing that someone can see her completely and still choose to stay. Something changes inside her. It is a subtle shift, almost impossible to notice from the outside. But psychologically, it can be incredibly powerful. Her mind begins moving you from someone who simply interests her to someone who truly matters. That is no longer just attraction. That is the beginning of emotional attachment. And once attachment starts forming, it changes the way she thinks about you, the way she feels around you, and the way she views your place in her life. But here is what many men fail to understand. Women usually do not announce the exact moment their feelings begin to deepen. She does not suddenly say, "I think I'm falling for you now." Instead, it appears through something much quieter. It comes through one vulnerable moment, one emotional door that she normally keeps closed from the world, one part of herself that she rarely allows anyone to see. And when she lets you see that side of her, she is not trying to test you, she is trusting you. And for many women, trust is the foundation where real love begins. Not excitement, not charm, not status, not just physical attraction, safety. If she shares something personal with you and you respond with patience, emotional maturity, calmness, and genuine understanding, her connection with you can become much stronger. But if you ignore it, make jokes about it, dismiss her feelings, or turn the conversation back toward yourself, something inside her begins to close. She may continue smiling, she may continue talking, she may even act like everything is normal, but emotionally, she may begin creating distance long before you notice anything has changed. So what exactly is that moment? What is the thing she shares that carries more meaning than a simple "I like you"? More meaning than flirting, more meaning than physical closeness. It is the moment when she reveals something that makes her feel emotionally exposed. It could be a fear she carries, a painful memory from her past, an insecurity she hides, a moment where she felt rejected, unwanted, or not good enough. A story where she was not the strong, confident, and perfectly put-together person she often tries to appear to be. When a woman allows you to see where she has emotionally struggled, she is not simply telling you a story. She is placing a piece of her personal history in your hands and watching carefully what you do with it. Understand this clearly. Many women learn from a young age to appear emotionally controlled. Even when they are kind, open, and expressive, there are still deeper layers that most people never reach. The outer layer is her personality. The next layer is her everyday emotions. But the deepest layer contains her emotional memories. The experiences connected to pain, rejection, abandonment, disappointment, insecurity, and self-doubt. That part of her is not shared casually. Access to that emotional space is earned. It is not something she gives to everyone. So when she says something like, "I usually don't tell people this," or "This might sound silly, but," and then shares a moment when she felt broken, embarrassed, hurt, or deeply affected by someone else's actions, understand what is actually happening. That is not ordinary conversation. That is emotional vulnerability. At that moment, her mind is quietly asking a question. Is this person safe with the parts of me that I protect the most? And during that moment, she is not paying attention only to your words. She is paying attention to your emotional presence. Do you remain calm? Do you listen without rushing to interrupt? Do you try to immediately fix everything? Do you make it about yourself? Or do you simply allow her to feel heard and understood? A woman often feels closer to a man who knows how to hold emotional space than a man who tries to control every emotion that appears. Here is the psychology behind it. Vulnerability creates connection. When she opens up and feels accepted instead of judged, her brain begins connecting you with feelings of trust, comfort, and emotional security. You become associated with relief. You become associated with peace. You become someone she feels she can be real with, and that kind of connection can become incredibly powerful. But if you minimize what she shares, tease her, become uncomfortable, or shift the focus back onto yourself, her mind can interpret that as a sign that opening up may not be safe. She may not argue. She may not tell you that you hurt her. She may not even explain why she suddenly feels different. She may simply reduce her emotional investment quietly. And this is where many men misunderstand what happened. They think everything was fine because she was still there physically. But emotionally, something had already started changing. Because when a woman reveals something deeply personal, she is not just sharing information. She is showing you a part of herself that she carefully protects. And the way you handle that moment can determine whether the connection grows stronger or slowly fades away. Here is where many men make the mistake that costs them more than they realize. When a woman opens up about something that made her feel afraid, rejected, insecure, or emotionally hurt, many men immediately feel pressure. They feel pressure to say the perfect thing, pressure to make the pain disappear, pressure to turn the uncomfortable moment into something positive again. But emotional connection does not grow through performance. It grows through emotional stability. When you rush to fix every feeling she shares, what she may hear is that her emotions are a problem that needs to be solved. When you make jokes to lighten the mood, what she may feel is that this moment is not serious enough to be respected. When you become quiet because you do not know how to respond, her mind may interpret it as, "I'm alone with this." None of these reactions mean you are a bad person. They simply show that emotional depth requires a different kind of awareness. The man she feels safest with is not the one who has every answer. It is the one who does not disappear when emotions become real. He does not panic. He does not change the subject. He does not give a long lecture. He simply listens as if her words matter. His body language remains relaxed. His voice stays calm. His energy communicates understanding. Sometimes the most powerful things a man can say are the simplest. "I'm really glad you trusted me enough to tell me this." Or, "That sounds like something you carried for a long time." That is enough. No dramatic speech. No attempt to become the hero. No need to rescue her from her own emotions. Why does this create such a powerful effect? Because emotional safety lowers a person's defenses. When someone feels accepted instead of judged, they naturally become more open. They begin connecting that person with comfort, trust, and belonging. A woman begins to feel that she can be fully human around you, not perfect, not always confident, not always strong, just real. And being accepted during imperfect moments is one of the deepest psychological experiences that creates emotional closeness. This is where many relationships are either strengthened or weakened, and most people never talk about it. Attraction may bring someone closer to you, but the way you handle their vulnerability often determines whether their heart continues opening or slowly starts protecting itself again. And here is the truth many men never fully understand. She is not only falling for what you do, she is paying attention to who you become when she is emotionally exposed. She notices your presence. She notices your patience. She notices whether you need to be right or whether you simply want to understand. She notices whether you are trying to impress her or whether you are genuinely there with her. This is why so many men become confused. They believe winning someone's heart requires perfect words, impressive actions, or constant effort. But often, what creates the strongest bond is something much quieter: consistency, emotional reliability, being the same calm person when things are easy and when things become difficult. Think about it. When she shares something vulnerable, she is unconsciously observing the foundation of your character. Can she trust you when things are uncomfortable? Can you handle her emotions without becoming overwhelmed? Can you stay present without judging her? Those silent moments reveal more about you than any romantic gesture ever could. Your ability to remain steady tells her something powerful. I can be myself around him. I don't have to hide my feelings. I don't have to pretend everything is okay. And that feeling can become more meaningful than charm, appearance, or confidence alone. Here is the interesting part. When emotional safety begins forming, attachment can develop naturally. The brain starts creating stronger emotional associations. She begins remembering how you made her feel. She thinks about the way you listened. She remembers the way you responded when she showed a softer side of herself. She starts valuing your presence because, emotionally, you represent comfort and acceptance. And this does not happen because of one perfect conversation. It happens through repeated moments where you show emotional consistency. It builds slowly, like a foundation being created one brick at a time. But notice something important. This connection only grows when you resist the urge to control every situation. If you immediately give advice, analyze everything, or try to tell her exactly what she should do, you may unintentionally create distance. She may appreciate your intentions, but emotionally, she may feel unseen. Sometimes people do not need solutions. Sometimes they need someone who can simply sit with them in the moment. A man who understands this creates a different kind of attraction. Not the temporary attraction based only on excitement. A deeper attraction built on trust. He becomes someone she feels comfortable returning to, someone who feels like peace instead of pressure, someone whose presence creates emotional balance. And the most powerful part is that she may not even realize this process is happening. She may not sit there thinking, I am becoming attached because he responds emotionally well. The mind does not work that way. Instead, she simply begins feeling closer. She begins wanting more conversations. She begins wanting to share more of her world. She begins seeing you as someone different from the people who only accepted the easy version of her. Because when she shares her fears, her pain, and her hidden struggles, she is not just revealing information. She is allowing you access to a part of her that she protects carefully, and she is watching what you do with that trust. Every reaction matters, every tone matters, every small gesture matters. Because in those moments, she is learning whether you are someone she can emotionally depend on. And if you handle that moment with maturity, patience, and genuine care, you create a connection that many people spend years searching for. Let me tell you something that many men never truly understand. When a woman reveals her vulnerability, she's not simply sharing a memory or explaining something from her past. She is showing you the parts of herself that she normally keeps protected. The part she worries people might judge. The part she fears could make someone walk away. The part she sometimes struggles to accept even within herself. And when she chooses to reveal those parts to you, she is giving you something incredibly valuable. She is giving you access to her emotional world. Many men treat these moments like ordinary conversations. They hear the words, but they miss the meaning behind them. They focus on the story itself, instead of recognizing the trust required for her to tell it. But the reality is much deeper. Human beings are not only connected through excitement or attraction, we are connected through feeling understood. You might believe she is falling for your appearance, your confidence, your humor, or the way you present yourself. And yes, those things can create interest. But deeper emotional attachment develops when someone feels truly seen, when someone feels accepted, when someone feels like they do not have to hide their imperfections to be valued. That is what she is offering you when she opens up. And when you respond with care, you create an emotional association that can become extremely powerful. She starts remembering the way you listened. She remembers how you did not judge her. She remembers how comfortable she felt, sharing something she usually keeps hidden. These moments stay in a person's mind because emotional experiences are remembered differently than ordinary conversations. Most men make a mistake here because they underestimate the power of simply being present. They believe they need to fill every silence. They believe they need to have the perfect response. They believe they need to prove they understand. But real listening is not passive. Real listening is active awareness. It is noticing the change in her voice. It is noticing the pauses between her words. It is recognizing the moments where she becomes uncomfortable, emotional, or uncertain. It is paying attention to what she says and what she struggles to say. Because sometimes the strongest message is hidden between the words. And here is the secret. When she realizes you can handle her emotions without trying to change her, something inside her shifts. She begins trusting you with more than just stories. She begins trusting you with her dreams, her fears, her hopes, her insecurities, her private thoughts. Slowly, you become someone she feels safe, including in her inner world. And that is when she begins imagining a future with someone like you. Someone who does not disappear when life becomes complicated. Someone who does not only love the easy moments. Someone who can hold her heart carefully. This is why understanding emotional signals matters so much. That one fear she shares, that one painful memory, that one personal confession. It is not just a conversation, it is a moment of emotional connection. And how you respond can shape the direction of the relationship. If you respect it, protect it, and respond with emotional strength, she may begin moving closer to you without even realizing it. But if you ignore it, make it about yourself, or react in a way that makes her feel exposed, she may quietly begin creating distance. That is how powerful these moments are. Here is another truth that many men overlook. Women often measure emotional connection through consistency, not just through big romantic actions. You can plan amazing dates. You can buy meaningful gifts. You can say beautiful things. But if the moment she opens her heart you become dismissive, impatient, or judgmental, those other actions lose their emotional impact. Because the deepest question in her mind is not always, can he impress me? The deeper question is, can I feel safe with him? That is the invisible decision happening beneath the surface. When she reveals something personal, she has already taken a risk. She has chosen to step outside her comfort zone. She has allowed herself to be seen. And what she is looking for is not necessarily a perfect answer. She is looking for emotional steadiness, a person who can communicate through their actions. I see you. I hear you. I'm here with you. That kind of presence creates a connection that words alone cannot create. This is why some relationships fail even when attraction is strong, because attraction can bring two people together. But emotional safety determines whether they stay connected. If she feels uncertainty, inconsistency, or emotional distance, her mind naturally begins protecting her. She may still talk to you, she may still laugh with you, she may still spend time with you, but internally she may begin stepping back. On the other hand, when she experiences calm understanding from you, something different happens. She begins associating you with comfort. She begins associating you with trust. She begins associating you with emotional security. And that is the foundation where deeper love can grow. But remember this is not a one-time moment. Emotional trust is built through patterns. Every time you respond with patience, the connection becomes stronger. Every time you handle her feelings with care, you reinforce the idea that you are someone safe. And every time you dismiss or ignore those moments, emotional distance can slowly grow. This is why the way you respond matters more than many people realize. Your goal is not to impress her. Your goal is not to perform. Your goal is not to become someone you are not. Your goal is simply to show up as a person who is emotionally mature, respectful, and steady, because that is what creates a bond that lasts. And this is the part most men never expect. When she shares something deeply personal, she is not only looking for kindness, she is also observing your emotional strength. She wants to know whether you can remain grounded when things become serious, when the conversation is no longer about fun, flirting, or excitement. When the real human side appears, that is where deeper connection begins.